More than 3 million Americans have lost their jobs in the past few weeks. 3 million. Now, to put that in perspective, take a look at this chart. Here are the initial jobless claims by week. You can see it's relatively stable. There's the Great Recession. And there's last week. Needless to say, these are unprecedented times, and the government is spending unprecedented amounts of money to combat this crisis. $2 trillion, as a matter of fact. The $2 trillion stimulus bill has a whole lot in it, and in this video, I'm going to be answering the following questions. Will you get the $1,200 stimulus check? How can you get more than $1,200? When are you going to be receiving this money? Do you have to apply? Will you qualify for this stimulus check if you're on Social Security or disability? What if you haven't filed taxes in years? How are you going to get the check? Will this affect your credit score? Will this affect your tax refund? Do you get this check if you're still employed? But that isn't all. The stimulus bill also has a brand new program that can help you if you have lost your job. It is extra unemployment insurance. I'm going to show you how you can get an extra $600 per week on top of your unemployment insurance through your state if you have lost your job. And this includes people who drive for Uber or Lyft or have a gig economy type job. But before we get into that, comment below and let me know how you are going to spend your stimulus check. Are you going to be spending it on bills, rent, or are you going to go out and have a good time, or are you going to invest it? I want to know, so please let me know in the comments below. And just so you know, my name is Kevin Conway. I make personal finance videos like this one all the time. I show you how to save money, how to grow your money, and also how to travel for free. Basically anything personal finance related. So if you like that sort of thing, subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to give a like to this video. Now let's get right into it. So as most of you probably already know, the government is going to be issuing checks to individual eligible adults for the stimulus package. Now, all of the information in this video is surmised from the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, Forbes, and the text of the bill itself. Here are the key provisions for the check. Every adult will get $1,200, married couples will get $2,400, and you will also get an additional $500 for every dependent child you have under the age of 17. There's no limit to the amount of kids that qualify under this stimulus package. So if you have 10 kids, you will be getting $5,000, and that probably isn't anywhere close to enough money to compensate for having 10 kids, but there you are. In order to be eligible for this payment, you must have a Social Security number and make less than $75,000 on an individual basis, or if you're filing jointly, less than $150,000. Now, if you make more than that amount, your amount of stimulus check is reduced by 5% of the difference between $75,000 and $99,000 if you're an individual, or $150,000 and $198,000 if you're filing jointly. And remember, this is your adjusted gross income, so this is before standard deductions or anything else. So how do they determine your income for this check? Are they looking at 2019 or 2018, or what happens if you haven't filed in a very long time? Well, here is the thing that you need to know. They will look at your 2019 income if you've already filed. If you haven't already filed, they will look at your 2018 income if you filed for 2018. If you haven't filed for either one of those years, you may be at risk of not getting the stimulus check. And if so, I highly recommend filing for 2019 now. If you make a low income, you actually are eligible for free filing software. I have it in the description in the link below, and that's from the IRS itself. Okay, so what if you're on Social Security or disability benefits? Are you going to be receiving the stimulus check? The answer is yes. I got a ton of comments on my previous video asking this very question, and I looked it up, and the answer is an unequivocal yes. You will get it if you have Social Security or disability benefit. Now, is the check taxable? No, it is not taxable. Will it affect your credit score? No, it will not affect your credit score. Do you have to apply for this check? No, you do not have to apply, provided that you had filed in the past, and if you hadn't, please file for 2019 to ensure that you receive your check. What about if you owe the IRS taxes, or if you owe money on your student loans guaranteed by the government? Well, it doesn't matter. You will still be receiving that check. You will still owe on your taxes and your student loans, but you will be receiving that check directly. What about if you're still employed? Are you going to be receiving the stimulus check? Well, the short answer is yes. Most people are still employed, and most people will also receive the stimulus check. Now, if you've lost your job, stick around till the end of the video. I'm going to be detailing the unemployment insurance benefit increases that are going to drastically affect you to the positive. An earlier version of this bill, which is not in effect anymore, had reductions if you made less than $40,000 or $30,000. Basically, you got less stimulus check money if you made less money. That's not the case in this bill. You could forget all of that. That is all rumor and chatter. It is not real. What is in this bill is the standard $1,200. So if you've made $40,000 or if you've made $70,000, you will be receiving the $1,200 check. So what happens if you've had a child in 2020? Are they going to be looking at that? Well, the short answer is no. According to the IRS, your child doesn't really exist for this stimulus check. I take this personally because I had a child born in February and I'm not getting that $500, it turns out. Well, it's not exactly true. I'm not getting it today. I'm going to be receiving it later. When I file my 2020 tax return, I'm going to be receiving the $500 for my child born in 2020. So the IRS will look at your 2019 information if you've already filed or are filing now in order to determine whether or not you qualify for the stimulus check and in what amount. And any differences will be made up on your 2020 filing year. So that's pretty much it for the stimulus check portion of the stimulus bill. If I missed any of your questions, please comment below and ask them, and I will do my best to respond to them as quickly as I can. Now on to the more important part of the bill if you've lost your job, and that is the unemployment insurance expansion. Now this is huge and it has been overlooked by a lot of people, but it's a very crucial benefit that is going to be available to you if you've lost your job. This stimulus bill expands unemployment insurance by $600 per week on top of your state's unemployment insurance, and it does not take into consideration how long you've had your job or how much money you made at your job. Whatever you qualify for under your state, that is going to be separate and apart from this $600 that's going to be added on top of that state unemployment insurance. Now, what does this mean? Well, if your state unemployment insurance pays you $500 per week and your job originally only paid you $1,000 per week, you're actually going to be collecting $1,100. That's your state's $500 plus this additional $600 from the stimulus bill for up to 4 months. That's how long the unemployment insurance has been expanded in this bill. It's been expanded by 4 months at $600 per week. This bill also expands your state's unemployment insurance by 13 weeks. So if your state originally had a 26-week unemployment insurance length, you're actually going to now be able to collect it for 39 weeks. Part-time workers and gig economy workers, like those who work for Lyft or Uber or DoorDash or any of those services, are also eligible for this additional $600 per week. This unemployment insurance is in addition to any money that you would have received under the stimulus check. So you're going to be receiving this separate and apart from that stimulus check. The unemployment insurance benefit is something that wasn't really talked about in the media very much, but I think it's a much more important thing and helpful thing to people who have lost their jobs simply because this stimulus check is a one-time thing and the unemployment insurance is going to carry on for as long as you're unemployed up until the cutoff date. And I think it's a good benefit for people who had a job and unfortunately lost it. One additional thing to this bill, if you have student loans, you're able to defer them until September 30th with no additional interest charges on your missed payments. You're able to do that. All you need to do is contact your lender and you're able to defer your student loans if they're backed by the federal government. $2 trillion is certainly a ton of money. So how are we going to pay for this? Well, a combination of printing money and probably higher taxes in the future. That's to be determined in the future. We don't really know as of right now, but it'll likely be some combination of those two things. Now, if you need help building your credit score or you need help finding a bank account that is going to be free to use and give you interest, I have many videos on those topics I recommend checking out. And if you want to know more generally about personal finance, please browse my videos and see if any of those apply to you, or comment below with a topic that you'd like to see covered. I make videos like these all the time, and I really appreciate reading the comments and making topics based upon those comments. So what do you guys think of this stimulus bill? Does it go far enough? I want to hear from everybody out there, especially with what you are going to do with your stimulus check money. Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if it helped you out in any way. I'd really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Thanks.